This is the third of our films of our trip to Darjeeling in November. We've covered the journey from Siliguri to Darjeeling in the first two films, and now we're at our hotel, the Windermere in Darjeeling, and just taking a steady stroll around the pathway which circumnavigates the hotel, pathway known as the Mall, which at any time of day gives an interesting view of the surrounding mountain range, Kachinjunga, but in the early morning it's particularly atmospheric. And so we'll sit back and enjoy this brief stroll around the Mall in Darjeeling. The station area is the focal point for both watchers and travellers. We are of course travellers because we're going to make our way by train up the line to the summit of the line at Gun.
It's chillier out of the sun. Chillier out of the sun.
Definitely, yeah.
दार्जिलिंग से करशक में जाने वाली गाड़ी संख्या 5254 किसी कारणवश रद्द की गई है। यात्रियों को निवेदन है कि मैनेजर ऑफिस पर संपर्क करें। यात्रियों की सुविधा के लिए धन्यवाद। May I have your attention please? Train number 52544 from Monastery Station, गाड़ी संख्या 5254 डीजल भवन, दार्जिलिंग से करशक।
पछाडि अप्ठ्यारो हुन्छ Berarti angka lagi, dia seperti.
Finally, after much carriage shunting and picture taking, we're on our way to Broome. The white building up ahead is the fire station, Darjeeling Fire Station, and it contains some very interesting fire engines, one of which is a Leyland engine, Leyland Comet.
They don't like.
The engine, having completed its reversing manoeuvre around its train, is now facing in the right direction to take its train back to Darjeeling, and gives us the opportunity to take a breath. From where I am, nobody on there. Another wonderfully clear day at the loop enables us to see not only the engine but also the mountains in the backdrop, and indeed the Gurkha Memorial in the centre of the newly constructed gardens at Batasia Loop. Very poignant. Moving on from the loop by road, we arrive just in time to watch our engine taking on water at the watering point just outside Darjeeling Station area. This early morning visit to a location known as Tiger Hill is an extremely popular event, and each and every morning the place is crowded with onlookers hoping to catch and enjoy the best spectacle as Mount Kachinjunga changes colour as the sun rises in the east. And if one is really fortunate, one can see Mount Everest, which is some 100 miles distant from this point and appears just as a pinprick on the horizon. Kachinjunga is closer at just under 50 miles, and it feels almost as if one can reach out and touch the mountain. But quite clearly, that's not feasible, so we'll just enjoy the spectacle. Mount Everest is not the illuminated peak that one can see in the distance, but the tiny speck to its left. Clearly, as we've seen, the mountain range is visible from many vantage points, Darjeeling. And here we are again back at our hotel on the same morning, just taking another look at the mountain, which is now fully recovered from its sunrise experience, but still majestic in its snow-covered magnificence. We were privileged to be able to visit the oldest monastery in the Darjeeling area, the monastery at Gum. We were shown around the building and its environs, and then our guide gave us quite a dissertation on the history of tea growing in the area and its roots in Nepal.
So when you say like Hinduism, like we are all Hindu people, so especially in Hinduism, we want to draw any sugar, any milk. Because if you add sugar and milk in Darjeeling tea, then there is no use. It's going to lose all the flavors. Okay, but even in Darjeeling tea also, like we have so many different quality of the tea according to the different seasons. So at home, you know, like what kind of tea do you drink? Maybe light, medium, strong. So you have to go according to the three seasons. We have almost a three picking season. We start from March to November. And especially the tea which has been picked in the month of March and April, that's what we call the first flush tea. Okay, so that tea is it's like very light, it's very bitter also, and it's very delicate also. Okay, but after first flush, if you go for the second flush, that's before the rainy seasons, that's called one of the best tea. And that tea has got a lot of flavor, a lot of aroma, and there's a special name for the second flush we call the muscatel flavor, which has been given here. Muscatel means for the second flush tea.
Like Moscatel.
Muscatel, yeah. That's for the second flush tea. Okay? And now this is the last season for the tea. This is totally we call the autumn tea. And this tea is a little bit stronger. Okay? So the best tea, we say that's the second flush tea is one of the best tea. So in the month of like December, January, February, we don't have any harvest for the tea. That's because of the frost, because of the winter. So this is also one of the important period for the tea company to give a lot of fertilizers. And now in Darjeeling, all the tea gardens they have started doing organic. So for the organic, you know, they use a lot of like the vermicompost. The vermicompost, even the cow dung is being used for the organic tea. And if you know the lemongrasses also, you know the lemongrasses? Yeah. Lemongrasses, there are flowers we call the lantana. You know the lantana flowers? That's also used for the tea. Because that will protect the insect, you know, not to go inside the field. So that will control all the insect. So especially they grow a lot of lemongrasses, lantana. And now we have total 87 tea plantation in Darjeeling. But out of 87, there are only 20-25 tea gardens, which they produce one of the best tea in Darjeeling. So one of the best tea gardens we have now, Happy Valley, which is one of the smallest tea garden in Darjeeling, and it's very close from the main town. And that's also one of the best tea gardens. Then we have a Castleton, Makabari. So this is one of the famous tea plantations in Darjeeling. And now we have 4 different kind of tea in Darjeeling: white tea, green tea, black tea, oolong tea. Okay, so oolong means it's like semi-fermentations. It's like half green and half black. Black tea means that's used for the fermentation process. Green tea, that's without fermentations. And when we say the white tea, this tea is very, very expensive tea. This is totally unfermented tea, the white tea. Okay? And for making the white tea, either for black tea or green tea, for the best tea, they use the silver tips. The young birds only, the young leaves. So that's why the white tea, it's like, if you try some white tea, I mean, it's like the water, but it has got a different flavor. So that's one of the best tea. And especially sometimes we use the word like the orange pekoe tea. Orange pekoe means, that's the name of leaf grade. The tea doesn't have the orange color, not the orange flavor, it's the name of the leaf grade. So especially when you are buying some good tea from Darjeeling Tea, there's a label SFTGOP, which means special, fine, tippy, golden, flowery, orange pekoe. These are for the best tea.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have 4 different grades for the tea: whole leaf, broken leaf, fannings, dust.
Yeah.
So when you're buying some tea bags in the supermarkets, especially you get the fannings or the dust, because the best quality of the black tea is very, very expensive.
Isn't that why we have tea bags? In fact,
Yeah.
tea bags are basically the dust
Yeah.
they couldn't otherwise sell.
Yeah.
Somebody had the right spot.
Okay. So till 1860, we have a lot of tea plantation in Darjeeling. There are more than 65 tea gardens in Darjeeling. But during that time, the total populations, the total inhabitants people in Darjeeling was only 5,000 people. And now it's almost 150,000 people.
5,000 to
5,000. So that's why, like we are Nepalis, most of the drivers are all Nepalis, and our forefather, they are originally from Nepal. So all our forefathers, they moved from Nepal to Darjeeling and they started to work in the tea plantations. Okay, so my last name is Gurung. My first name is Naresh, the last name is Gurung. Gurung means those who have seen the picture of the honey hunters. You know the honey hunters? In early days, we are the honey hunters. We just go for the football things, like the rock area. Check the honey. Yeah.
Snap a vine and get
Yes,
honey.
yes. So we are the honey hunters. So now we are the 6th generations in Darjeeling. But before Nepalis, as I told you yesterday also, there's a people we call the Lepcha. So in a bar, in the hotel, in the high tea, in the bar room, there's the staff wearing the traditional dress. Those are all the Lepchas people. So the Lepchas were the all inhabitants people of Darjeeling. And these Lepcha people, they are not from here, they are all from Burma, from Myanmar.
Burma.
Burma.
So if
It's
you
a
look to
long
the
way.
hats, some of them, that look totally
Yeah.
different. That you can see the Burmese or Myanmar
Okay.
influence.
And these Lepcha people were the followers of the Bon religions, B-O-N. Bon means, as I told you, before Buddhist, there was religions we call the Bon religions. Bon means the people, they worship mountains, forest, and the rivers. And still there are few people, they follow the same religions. Okay. So Buddhism was started from Tibet, that was from the 7th century. And before that, there was a Bon religion in Tibet. So in Buddhism also, there are 2 branches. One we call the Hinayana and the Mahayana branches. So if you come in northern part of India, like in Tibet, Bhutan, Nepal, Sikkim, Darjeeling, this is totally we call the Mahayana Buddhisms. Mahayana means, Maha means is a great, Yana means is the way, is the path. So that's why we call the Mahayana Buddhisms. But if you travel in southern part of India, like in Thailand, Cambodia, Sri Lanka, those we call the Hinayana Buddhisms, which means the small vehicle. So the small path, the small part of Buddhisms. So the difference between Hinayana and Mahayana, in a Hinayana sect, each individual person has to walk for his own destinations. That's in Hinayana. But whereas in Mahayana, they have to do a lot of practice, a lot of meditations to get the enlightenment. Okay? But again, this Mahayana Buddhism, it was being divided into 4 branches in the 4th sect. The first we call the Nyingmakpa, the second one we call the Gelugpa, the third one we call the Kyrgyz sect, the last we call the Sakya. Nyingma means is a red hat. Gelugpa is a yellow hat. Kyrgyz, which is the black hat. Sakya means those are the pure yellow. So especially in Sakya, if the father is the head of the Buddhist sect from the Sakya, the next son will be the head, like the dynasty. Okay. So in Kyrgyz means there are 3 spiritual leaders in Tibet: Dalai Lama, Karmapa, the Panchama Lama. These are the 3 spiritual leaders, the highest spiritual leader in Tibet. And now Dalai Lama, who is in charge of the 4 sect. And when we use the word like Karmapa, he's from the black hat. Dalai Lama, he's actually from the Gelugpa sect, from the yellow hat sect. And this monastery belongs to the Gelugpa, which is yellow hat. So there's a name over here, the Yoga Choling Group or Monastery, which was built in 1850. There was a monk from Tibet whose name was Sarab Gyatso. First he went to Bhutan, and from Bhutan he came to Darjeeling and he built the monastery, and from it again he fled to Tibet. So this was one of the oldest monastery in Darjeeling, 1850. These are the prayer wheels. Whenever you toss the prayer wheels, you have to make always clockwise directions, not the anti-clockwise. There's a prayer like in Buddhism, it's a very important prayer. Om, Ma, Ne, Pat, Me, Hung. These are the 6 words. Om is also used in Hinduism, which means is the whole universal. So Mane, that's a jewelry. Padme is a lotus flower, and Hung means the mind. So whenever you touch the prayer wheels, you have to say the prayer like the Om, Ma, Ne, Padme, Hum, which brings happiness, peace, and prosperity. These are the meanings for the prayer wheels. And you have seen a lot of prayer flags. Like today also in Tiger, you have seen a lot of prayer flags. That we call the wind horse prayer flag. The 5 elements: earth, water, fire, air, ether. These are the 5 elements. The green one, it symbolizes the ether, space, the upper part of the atmosphere. The white one is air. The red one is fire. The blue one is water. And the yellow one is the ground, the earth. So it's supposed to be earth, water, fire, air, ether. These are the meanings of the prayer flag. And those we call wind horse prayer flag. So the wind blows all the prayers in a different directions for the peace. So there's a prayer like the chantings, especially there's so many prayers for different god and goddesses in Buddhism, and especially those prayer flags are also used by the Hinduism also, especially in temple. Okay, so we're going inside, and as I told you, there's a photograph inside, but you have to pay 100 rupees per camera.
Okay.
And we have to take a suit over here, outside.
We leave behind the serenity of the Gum Monastery, and we find a different kind of serenity in the train shed at Darjeeling. 3 locomotives in steam, preparing for action or recovering from action that they've already undertaken. And it leaves us with some splendid memories of our several days in Darjeeling. The loco on the right is 786, and this one nearest is 788B. Our final view of the newly constructed observation car, the engines on shed, and these two old folk watching the world go by, and a reminder of a more ancient tradition. And then it's back to our hotel patio there, and a view of some friendly or possibly not so friendly monkeys. Do you reckon he's sitting on a spike? Answers on a postcard, please. I hope you enjoyed this little series.